Let's get this show on the road. Bunny, Dunny, Bunny, what's up with the hay? Bunny, Dunny, what's a wee hey ho? Bunny, Dunny, Bunny, what's up with the hay? Bunny, Dunny, what's a wee hey ho? All right, it's time for another fun and awesome day here at Sisseton, Wahpeton College, filled with awesome indigenous intellect. And now, the host, your brilliant professor, singing go, yay! Right on. Woo, woo, woo. All right, let's get started. Here is an awesome little dude. He is a very old. I can see that I need to get him some new feathers and some real eagle feathers, or maybe some red-tailed hawk feathers and some colorful ones here. He's called the Morning Singer. And as you may or may not know, the Hopi Katsinas, they all have their own stories and legends that surround them. If I remember correctly, the Hopi Katsina, the Morning Singer, and I can tell this Morning Singer because it says right there, is responsible for waking folks up each morning and spreading the news, like in the old British or Europeans, what they would do, they'd ring a bell, hear ye, or they'd have a knocker-upper that would come and knock on your windows and wake everybody up and spread the news of the day, what's going on, how weather's going to be, all that fun stuff, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's start with some prayers of blessings for each and every one of you. We pray to our Heavenly Father, Tsimanitu, that each and every name that I recite has indeed blessings of happiness, joy, and prosperity. So here we go. You know what would help if I put my glasses on, huh? Yes. All right. Let's do that. I bet I've already wasted 5 minutes starting this. But not really wasted it, because what I've done is told you a little bit about the Katsinas, or Kachinas as they're often called. Now we begin with our students. Lan Youjun, Dao Jianrong, Xiao Shengde, Guo Xuewei, Cui Aihua, Hao Xingling, Ke Zhixiong, 郎解任、乐小林、洪秀玲. I think Hong Xiuling emailed me the other day asking about how come I got an F on e-learning when I checked my grade. This is a reminder for everybody. I'm not just picking on Hong Xiuling. I'm picking on all of you to remind you that what you see on e-learning, as far as grades go, you should not trust, because I keep hard copy, what do you call it? Old school. I'm an old fart, you see. I have grade book, the old hard copy grade book. So yeah, the computer keeps screwing up anyway, and I don't feel like dealing with it, and I don't want to harass Professor Sonny. I forgot what his last name is. But anyway, the other professor who handles e-learning, I bug him too much. He's probably sick of me. So anyway, right, back to Hong Xiuling. I had to fix that and tell her, no, don't freak out. It's don't pay attention to what's on here as far as grades go. Pay attention. You email me if you want to know what your grade is. What else? We got 2 more students, Ren Huiling and Ren Wenjing. And that's everybody. Again, with prayers and wishes for peace and prosperity and joy to each and every one of you and your families as well. Now let's get started with what we got to do today. Boom! Announcements. We got our Easter egg hunt, which is coming on Thursday, April 2nd, in the main building. If I remember correctly, Last year when we did this, I think there's a couple of golden eggs and there's gifts, special gifts if you find those golden eggs. Last day to withdraw is Thursday, April 9th. We got our maple tapping workshop with Fisher, Professor Fisher, who does herbology like Professor Sprout in Harry Potter. I'm going too slow. Speaking of slow, item 2D, I said this before. I'm slowing down and I'm going to be collapsing a bunch of stuff on e-learning, but it'll still all be there. Pop Quiz C is coming after our spring break. 291 days till Christmas. And let me see if there's any other email announcements I haven't shared with you. I got to do this quick because I've already wasted so much time, you see. All right, here we go. Email, Erica Fisher. Yep, that's what I just talked about. This is for our new truck. We don't need to talk about that. Something having to do with VMYC. I think this is almost like a youth council here on check your email here at the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. And there's a calendar for April 2026. It says all the cool stuff that's going on. So check it. I'm not going to read this word for word because we don't have enough time. What else? Just a reminder, LaJune Morgan, our beloved front office lady, she's always got beautiful daily inspirations for us. Let's see, we never have today, or never have it again, never had it before, never have it again. Lord, as I have this opportunity, let me use this day to do good. Worse than being a quitter is one who is afraid to begin. Lord, grant me the courage to believe in myself and ability. But I like this one here. Especially the old Lakota was wise. He knew that man's heart away from nature becomes hard. He knew the lack of respect for growing living things soon led to a lack of respect for humans too. So he kept his youth close to its softening influence. This is by Luther Standing Bear, Oklahoma. There we go. I think those are all the main announcements I have. Richard Lee, oh no, that's something else. Melissa, that's something for our truck. We already talked about the Easter egg hunt. What is this? Oh, this is for my CDL students. You guys don't need to worry about that, and that's all I need to bother you with. Let's go back to this. Now, as I was telling you, I'm going to start collapsing this stuff. I'm going to go all the way back here. I'm going to leave the Chumash stuff up a little bit longer, but I'm going to shrink it down eventually, probably starting right after spring break. See how I got all this stuff way up? Santa Barbara Mission, the powwow, all this stuff. And here's how we F up. I think only 2 people replied to this. I'm not going to click on it and embarrass anybody. I'm going to shrink this one down right now because the midterm's already done. Let's go to edit. Come on, edit. Edit settings. Come on, edit settings. There we go. It's buffering. That's how I know it's working. And I click on this and it's going to collapse it and you won't be able to see the picture, but you will still see the title. I explained this before, did I not? I hope I did. So buffer. Hurry up! We got stuff to do. So the midterm has been collapsed. All this stuff here, I'm going to collapse it as well. When did I create that? Was that before or after the midterm? There's Pop Quiz B. I'm going to collapse this one too because it's just taking up space. Not delete, edit settings. You'll still be able to access this stuff, and this is especially true for those of you who have been slacking off. I believe only 5 people completed the midterm. So this is way back in February. All right, let's see. Challenge question, independent. When did I post this? Way back in February. Maybe I'll leave that up a little longer. More Indian than thou. I'm going to collapse that later too. So let's go back to what we're supposed to be doing right now. I just wanted to show you how I've collapsed this stuff, but you can still see it.
I'm going to, oh, there's the settler alienation syndrome, which we talked about before. All that stuff's all going to be shrunk down to where you just see titles only. Okay? Now, let's jump on down to today's lessons, shall we? This is going to get collapsed too. We talked about Laura Tohi already. We talked about freight tags, pyramid, and the rising and the rising action, the climax, and the falling action. We talked about the hero's journey by Campbell. That's a circular. We already did all that stuff. So I gotta scroll you down. There's my old professor Gary Hobson. Poor man is getting so old, hardly he can't hear anymore. So I'm gonna collapse that one too. All this stuff's going to be shrunk down. So we're going to go straight to today's lesson if I can scroll down fast enough. Because there's something I'm supposed to bother you with, you see. This is the last meeting. We want 17. We have been speaking about literary criticism. And I remember I had spoken in a previous video how there's all these different aspects that we're looking at with literary criticism, and how there's different types, otherwise known as schools of thought: classicism, formalism. There's other ones called structuralism, but it doesn't get into some real fun stuff until we get into something called deconstruction. And a really good deconstructionist is a man who is near and dear to my heart, Gerald Visner. I should show you a picture. No, I'm not going to do that because I think I already posted a video on here anyway. Don't want to waste your time. So let's get down to some brass tacks. I need to bother you with this stuff on characterization. Just a reminder, if you go to, I believe I've got a video already posted, characterization, and you'll never believe. There's another one about, there's Visner right there. Survivance, deconstructionism, and all that fun stuff. See, I already posted that. I am going to tell you the story of Hussein Malik in a subsequent video. Not now. I'm going to make it a separate video to this one. Hussein Malik has to do with, the Puise means poop in one of my native languages. Malik is chicken, and you can pretty much see what that means. Chicken poop mountain. That's this place here. All right. I know I'm forgetting something. Did we already have characterization? I spoke about, yes, it's right here. The video's already posted, so I don't need to go over all this stuff. Keep in mind where I'm looking at item 4 of our lesson plan, where it says literary criticism in Harry Potter. All these goofy videos that I've been posting, you're going to see me discuss various schools of thought, classicism versus formalism, for example. A lot of times these colorful thingamajiggers here, these you'll notice that I mentioned in one of my videos before that we start off with classicism, and refers primarily to the Greek gods and God himself, and man being closely intertwined with the divine in some respects, or follow God's rules. And as we progress, we start moving away from God. We get to structuralism, and we start looking at signs instead of looking at God. We look at signs, and deconstruction is like, everything is useless, everything is pointless. And again, that would be Gerald Visner. But we start with man's place in the universe vis-a-vis himself, vis-a-vis others, vis-a-vis nature, and vis-a-vis the divine. I'm probably mispronouncing that because it's French. Um, Again, they start off with timeless and moral truths, but then by the time we get to deconstructionism, people like Ojibwe critic, or critical genius, I should say, Gerald Visner, who's a deconstructionist. I think he's my dad's age. He says meaning breaks down. All this stuff that we thought had some important meanings, when you really start to look at it, everything is unstable and always shifting. It depends on cultures. It depends, and even then, you start to look at the way people talk, and people keep contradicting themselves, and that's what that's all about. All right, I'm going to stand up here and spin my wheels too much. Rather than do that, I'm going to knock it off, because I probably spoke for 15. I did 15 minutes and 45 seconds. Knock it off right there. Thank you again for being so patient with me. You guys have an awesome rest of the day. Talk to you in the next video.